Hi there, Mrs. Patel. I'm Noah Flores, and I'm going to be the physical therapist working with you today. I noticed in our chart that we've had a few recent falls, and that's something that I really wanted to address with you today. Maybe we can modify some things that we're doing to decrease our risk of falls in the future, so we can stay living here by ourselves. And I think that would be great for the both of us. So again, I noticed one of our recent falls was on our way to the bathroom at night, so I totally get it. I mean, it's going to be a darker atmosphere, so it's harder on the eyes, and you just got to go in the bathroom, so you're kind of in a little bit of a rush. I understand that. So what we're going to do is we're going to alter a few of the things that we're going to do along the way to the bathroom, and a little bit of equipment that we have that we're going to utilize to make it a little bit safer so that we can get from bed to bathroom without any risk of falls, or with a decreased risk of falls. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, I noticed we're all reviewing your chart that while we sit up from bed and while we stand up from bed, I noticed that we have a small decrease in our blood pressure. That's not something to worry about. That is totally normal. What that tells me is that increases your risk for certain symptoms like dizziness. And as you can imagine, that's not something we want when we're trying to reduce the risk of falls. So something that we can do to help mitigate this risk would be to kind of let your body acclimate to the position before we move on to the next one. Also, we can do small exercises to increase our blood pressure just on the way to go to the bathroom, so that when we are standing up, we don't have the dizziness that would be associated with a little bit of a decreased blood pressure. So first things first, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna get going. So I'm gonna take a step back here. I'll show you. Okay. So we're gonna be laying down right here. What we're gonna do is, while we're laying down, we get the urge to go to the bathroom. We're gonna sit up right here. Maybe prop ourselves up with our left arm, because I know our right arm's in a sling currently. What we're going to do is we're going to do some ankle pumps. I can't see them. You do some ankle pumps right here on the bed. I said going back and forth with your feet. We're going to do 15. That way, when we're getting up, it's going to increase our sensation of our feet, so that we have a better awareness of our balance, along with getting the blood flow moving just a little bit, so our blood pressure doesn't decrease as much. We're going to do 15, and then we're going to move right here to the side of the bed. And from here, we're going to do 3 small exercises real fast before we get up to go to the bathroom, so that it increases our blood pressure, make sure it doesn't fall enough, and we don't feel dizzy as much. What we're going to do is we're going to barely get off the side of the bed. We're going to just stand up just enough to get our butt off the bed and back down. We're going to do that 3 times. That's going to be just enough to get a little bit of senses in our legs, and it's going to be just enough to increase our blood flow enough that we mitigate the risk of any kind of dizziness from the blood pressure. Okay, so now we're standing. Great. We're less dizzy because we did a little bit of exercise just right before we go. Nothing that takes too much time. On our way to the bathroom, but enough to make us feel a little bit more safe. Okay, so that takes us to the next step. We're standing up now. We have our cane. This is the closest I have to a cane at my house. But what we're going to do is we're going to trade in our single point cane. And while we're recovering from our recent fall with our fracture of our right leg, we're going to swap it in for a quad cane. That way we have a bigger base on the bottom. That's what all the difference is between the quad cane and a single point cane. Would be, instead of 1 point on the ground, it's going to have 4. Makes it so you have a bigger base of support, so that while you're using it to walk, you feel more steady. It's going to be the same mechanics that we used while we used a single point cane. So what you're going to do is, now we're standing, we're going to bring the cane forward with our left hand. We're going to bring our right leg forward, and then we're going to bring our left leg to match it. We're going to do the same thing over again. So that left arm, that right leg, and then the left leg. We're going to do that on the way to the bathroom. And now that we have the quad cane, it'll be a little bit safer to do it, and we have a bigger base so that if we do feel any bit dizzy, it will be there to help support us. Two more things I wanted to touch on before I let you go was we're going to utilize your a portion of your $20 budget that you had noted, and what we're going to do is we're going to buy, they're essentially motion night lights. I've looked them up on Lowe's, and you can get them at the local Lowe's or even probably on Amazon. I'll send you a link to those when we're done talking. What they essentially are, they're close to the ground. They're lights that when the lights go off, they'll be nice and dim, so you can still sleep. And when it senses motion, so when you stand up, they'll turn on. They'll be a little bit brighter, so they can brighten up the floor on your path to the bathroom. That'll be great for when we're going to the bathroom in the nighttime, because that way it'll light up the area for you. Also, it's another point I wanted to be able to touch on with you, was for between now and whenever we go to bed next, it would be great if we could move any kind of rugs or any kind of, if you store like blankets on the path to the bathroom, like on the side of the wall or something that we would be close to. It would be great if we could move those out of the way, just so we have one less thing that we could potentially trip on. And one last thing before I let you go, there was I noticed some of the medications that we use right before we go to bed are, they have potential side effects of dizziness. So something I just wanted to touch on with you before we go is maybe before we take those pills, we could try to use the restroom then, so that way we can get one out of the way before we even take the pills, and it makes us feel a little bit dizzier. Like I said, I will send you a link to the Lowe's item that I found online, those little night lights, and I think that if we implement these strategies, it will greatly reduce the risks of any kind of falls in the future, and that would be great. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll be right here if you have any questions, and we can work this out together. Thank you.